Well, we should be live. And it seems earlier than it really is. But that's neither here nor there. It looks like we've got some more sunspots recently forming here. So we'll see a little uptick in the sunspot number if it's not already updated yet today. And if you're viewing in syndication or live, well, let us know in the comments. As we will read all comments. All right, so let me relocate myself to SNN, least busted name in news, and get this show on the road. It's whoops. I've got a. It looks like there are issues. There are issues, folks. Issues, I tell you. And the issues are that I don't have my tripod, which isn't really a tripod. It's like a snake pod. But it's all right. Nobody's in the stream yet. So I'll take my good old time, open the curtains and things. It's not what you'd call a gorgeous day here in Lehigh Valley. It's a little bit on the dreary side. Just a tad. It's gross. It's getting cold and it's raining. So not a massive fan of that. But it's a great day to rest, which is what I'll primarily be doing anyway. So, by the way, don't forget to say hi to James T. Kirk in the comments. James T. Kirk, congratulations. You're on YouTube camera. Let me actually, it's better if I do it this way. And I can zoom in. Smile for your close-up, James T. Kirk. The pleco who's boldly gone where no pleco has gone before. And then there's these two dudes. Over here you've got Bubbles on the left, who eats and digests gravel. And you've got Ricky on the right, who we don't think eats and digests gravel. But yeah, Bubbles here trying to squeeze every calorie and vitamin and mineral out of the gravel in this aquarium. So that's interesting. Most fish don't eat and digest gravel. It's not really the most common thing, but apparently it's a thing. And oh yeah, and I almost forgot. Pink dress is a wrap. So we did a charity event, the Rogue North Hash House Harriers. Rogue North Hash House Harriers. Shout out to them if anybody's viewing the video. Did a great charity event. They were expecting like 50 and then 60 and then we got 75. So that was pretty cool. Raised a bunch of money for some club members who are receiving cancer treatment. I'm not sure if it's for breast cancer. I think there actually are 2 breast cancer patients. But fortunately, I don't know who they are. Because, of course, the club does strive to protect the medical privacy of our members. Anyway, yeah, just looking for my tripod. I think it might be, it's in the car. Anyway, it's okay. I'm just going to shoot guerrilla style and just keep the phone in my hand the whole time. It's fine. There's not really a lot to cover anyway, besides a minor uptick in sunspots. So everything, I mean, we did have a minor geomagnetic storm kick up this morning. But that's why I use the term minor, because that's what it was. Minor, as opposed to major. We got a KP5, something like a G1 geomagnetic storm, but it's barely enough to raise Tamitha Scove's eyebrow. I'll just use this desktop phone stand. That's fine. All right, so yeah, sunspot number is going to be coming up a little bit, I think. I did look at some magnetograms and stuff this morning. Let me turn up my brightness here because I cannot see the screen. And I'm a French fry. All right, there we go. No, I'm not a French fry. All right, that's better. Now I can see the screen. Perfect. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, viewers. Leave us a comment if you're viewing the video, as I can't see comments. I'm sure they are turned on. But in any case, let me bring up my trusty SNN console. You get to see my desktop. Uh-oh, people are seeing my file names. It's a security hazard, folks, a security hazard. By the way, Thor endorses this video. Correct, Thor? Thanks, Thor. We like to have Norse gods on the channel occasionally. Thor said his dad's going to stop by. Severe thunderstorms later? Hope, fingers crossed. I like me a severe storm. What about you, the viewer? You like a severe storm or no? That's so weird. I don't even see the chat. See, YouTube, keep in mind, folks, YouTube patches its software constantly. And we as content creators, we don't see any of that. We have no idea. It just happens. And then we're trying to use the software and we're like, huh? So I guess there are no comments. Let me just tune in. I know it's early in the morning. Too early to type. or type. Oh yeah, it's fun. So yeah, it was a hell of a weekend. I mean, we expected yesterday to be a little more exciting than it was, but the second event that we were going to attend never happened. It got changed, so I had to adjust my lights to make them bluer. Did you know blue light in the morning makes you healthier, folks? Yeah, getting blue light in your eyes in the morning makes you sleep better at night. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, if comments somehow miraculously got turned off, I'll turn them back on. So just bear with me a minute here. I have to log into a thing I was not expecting to log into. YouTube Studio. Let's see what's going on. Hopefully YouTube will show me my own content. We have found trouble finding our own content in the past on the channel. If you're not running a monetized YouTube channel, you may not understand where I'm coming from here, but we do pay a little bit for ads, and we are paid a little bit for the content. Yeah. By the way, check out the merch. There's some brand new merch in the description there at the Redbubble shop. We got, if you want the best wheel stickers you've ever seen in your life, if you want your wheels to look like they're starting on fire and turning to lava while you're riding your carbon deep dish rims very fast, we got you covered. I mean, the stickers, there's one for the right side and one for the left side. So the white hot part is on the front, and it looks good. I have some on my rear wheel right now, and I have the prototypes on the front wheel. I have window stickers that I've made. So you know how like you can make a real low profile sticker by making it largely transparent and then sticking it on the window of the car? Well, I got some nice window stickers. They weren't designed as that, but because the design is so light, that's the new logo actually. You know, if you try to put that on something black, it doesn't shine through. You can't see the graphic. So anyway, just gonna check and see if the settings are messed up on this stream. So bear with me a minute here, folks. It looks like sunspot number is at 130 right now. So 128 sunspots. Radio flux that's the 10.7 centimeter radio flux, which is directly proportional to the sunspot number, by the way. You know, when we see a high radio flux, we also see high sunspot numbers, typically. Just making sure the chat is turned on here, folks. Yeah, if you could leave a comment, that would be optimal. It's so weird. because you know we always keep comments turned on by default, and we don't censor our viewers by default. So, no, it looks like the chat does function. All right, so it's popped up on my screen. All right, perfect. So the chat does work. And thanks to all the 4 of you who've pressed like. Yeah, 10.7 centimeter radio flux is at 100 and... Oh, we have seen an uptick in the radio flux, so cool. So yeah, we can expect sunspot number to, you know, push up toward 150 sunspots. Radio flux is already at 144 solar flux units. The solar wind parameters that kicked up that minor geomagnetic storm this morning, that was the coronal hole high-speed stream. So we saw the density get up to about 15 protons per cubic centimeter. Let me put that on screen for you here, friends and foes. So there you go. 15 protons per cubic centimeter approximately there. That was a density spike, and then you can see the density drop off and the speed coming up. Right here we got, it's 730 kilometers per second for the solar wind speed there. That's pretty fast. It's over 1 million miles an hour. And 699. So we're currently at about 700 kilometers per second. It's the high-speed portion of the coronal hole wind. So that coronal hole high-speed stream, if we see a sudden magnetic field gyration happen here, especially with this red line up here, that's the BZ, that's the vertical component of the magnetic field measured out at Lagrangian point 1, which is about 1 million miles from Earth. Anyway, here is our GOES proton flux. Let me press refresh because it's not empty. There we are. It's flatlined. No spikes in the proton flux. And we have seen some M-class flares here, so some nice moderate level flares. Let me zoom into the 1 day. And we'll zoom in even further here. Largest flare of the past 24 was about an M2.5. An M2.67. So, yeah, we do have some complex magnetic fields. We'll show you which sunspots have been flaring. Oh, let's see if we have any CMEs here. All right, we may have some Earth-directed components. So let's check out the Huxt's Enlil spiral. Come on, then. High demand. Everybody's looking. Ha-ha. Let's press refresh again, see if that helps. Nope. So the Huxt forecast is down. They're probably updating it right now. So there's a high indication we already have an Earth-directed CME. And we're going to look at stereo A real quick, because that's going to tell us what's up. So we're going to show you a little more imagery here, folks. Auto update. Nice. All right, so at the moment, I don't think these are earthly directed CMEs. Let me make this a little bigger for you. All right, looks like we have up-to-date data here, largely from stereo A. Nice. I'll rock this back and forth manually here to make it a little easier. So here's yesterday starting at 10:30 Universal Time. Earth would be a little bit off to your left from this. So that one there may be an earthly directed one. That's at about 2000. And another one about 9 this morning. So nice. Yeah, this one is very likely to have an earthly directed component. 9 this morning. Let's take a look at that one on the coronagraph. Here's our LASCO coronagraphs. Take a look at 9 this morning. Tell me we have it. We don't have it. Nice. Yeah, so it looks like there's an earthly directed CME there, folks. That's good news. We could have a major geomagnetic storm from this one. You can see KP7 or 8 from this for sure. And this is the sunspot region that has been producing the flaring. So check it out. It's active right now. That's our GOES 19 131 angstroms wavelength. So this sunspot is the one to watch. There is one down here that has some magnetic complexity too. I'm not sure if it's that one. Let's take a look at some other imagery here. Filaments, we've got some major ones, and oh, it looks like the one I was trying to name has just ejected. No. Let's see. So this one in the north, this is the one that we're calling for a name for. This is the most likely one to produce an earthly directed CME, this filament here, or maybe this one. So either side of this active sunspot, both of these filaments are relatively likely to produce Earth-directed coronal mass ejections. So this is the animation at El Teide, Spain. That is the Canary Islands. And do we see any of those filaments vanishing? Keep in mind, folks, you can see a major CME without filaments as well. So we don't need to see filaments to see major coronal mass ejections happen. Sometimes they just pop out of nowhere. You can't see them often because of contrast. So anyway, here is our coronal hole line of sight field plot. And as you can see there, these are all South Pole oriented coronal holes here. And we can expect days of sputtering high-speed winds. So there's going to be ongoing geomagnetic storms here for the next 3 or 4 days. And there's going to be a CME impact mixed in, so we may have a co-interactive region. There's the heliosphere, folks. Earth is in a South Pole-oriented magnetic sector, right in the middle of it, and it's a long one. We've got lots of South Pole-oriented coronal holes. And just to give you a reference, here's where stereo A is located. That's the coronagraph we were showing you earlier. That sort of confirms, as you can see, if you're looking at the sun from stereo A, Earth would be off to your left. So yeah, that's what's going on. Some major space weather on the way. We're going to show you gong magnetograms as well to show you the complexity of those sunspots. So let's look at Udaipur this time. We'll look at Udaipur, India's magnetogram animations. So as you can see, this sunspot up here, we'll zoom way in on it. That sunspot up there is the offender. That's the one producing all the flares. And you can see there is big magnetic shear there. So, right in this area in here, you can see where there are very stark white and black fields that are very close to each other, as opposed to like in here, you can see it's all sort of separated. But here you can see that there's very dark black and very bright white. So high magnetic shear there, and that is the formula for large solar flares, which is what we like to see. We like to see some space weather. Yeah, if you're spooked of space weather, this definitely is not the channel for you, because space weather is not spooky. Really, space isn't spooky. We're a little bit offended when somebody's like, space is spooky, because space isn't very spooky. Now, we do also have an electron storm going on, so you can expect some significant GPS errors. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to cover Earth weather because there's plenty of space weather stuff to cover today. So we did. And is the SDO site back up? Anybody know? Nope, the SDO site is still down. That is pretty bad. But the government is jacked up. What do you want? Want it to shut down? Is that what you want? I won't comment today on that. So yeah, it's very dreary weather here in Lehigh Valley, PA. Thanks for tuning in, everybody who has. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. We'll show some imagery to close this thing out. How about some classic 304 angstroms from the GOES 19 SUVI? And we'll let the screen play here for a minute. We'll zoom in on that sunspot. There's a massive, massive filament rising as well. Let's briefly show that, as it is spectacular. Let me just prop up my phone a little more here. Does that work? It's gonna fall down. That's the problem. Hey, Thor, will you help prop up my phone, please? Let me try to use this thing. This might work. Will it work? It will not work. It will fall and be very scary for the viewer. But at least it's October. So, anyway, that's what's going on. Major space weather on the way to Earth. So, yeah, show Boötes Epsilon. I'm not going to show Boötes Epsilon. I don't even know what that is. But I am interested in the Boötes void. Voids are a very interesting feature of cosmology. If you don't know about them, read about voids as a cosmology subject. Anyway, thanks for leaving comments, Ray and Clyde Frog. We'll see y'all soon here at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. And until next time, I've been your host, Dan, aka Smash-O-Mash, signing off. And may that incoming solar wind be at your back.